Welcome to another Cinema 4D tutorial. Continuing on this character animation. So I realized we just kind of left the character in a place that, was just pretty basic. But I want to show you a few more tricks. Obviously now that we've made the character editable, unless you've have the ability to undo some of your edits, you're kind of locked in now with this character. And as you can see, I've got all of these tight polygons everywhere on my character. But that doesn't mean that you're not able to still continue tweaking. In fact, now you're probably able to do better tweaks of your character, more specific tweaking. And so simply all you need to do now is just head into Sculpt. And so if you want to do things, you'll notice I kind of added some, let's say we want to make a superhero character, kind of add some chest definition here, just by using the grab tool. I think I actually used the pull tool for this. Yeah, and just kind of painted in areas, maybe you want this person to be like super ripped, so you want to have like that six-pack look. You can adjust the size to really get in there and make it much more obvious that this character is super buff. Maybe you want this character to be overweight, and you can just inflate a gut in here. Something like that, and you can play with the size. And I'm going to undo that because what we want to always make sure we're doing is using this YZ symmetry, just to keep things consistent across the body, so that when we rig the body, it's not all messed up looking. But if we want, we can add in muscles using the inflate, some biceps. We can go in here and build up the shoulders, and we can also get in and do a whole bunch of different things to the face. We can reorient the mouth using grab, and when you're working on smaller areas, just make sure that your size that you're grabbing is better. You can adjust things like the chin here. Just kind of grab, pull. That's probably a little too dramatic, but we can make this guy seem a little bit more chiseled in the face, or we could just do the same thing. We could inflate the overall face, give him some fatter cheeks. Same thing, kind of inflate the head. So you still have plenty of different things that you can do, even though you've made the character editable. The other thing that we're going to talk about is now rigging this mouth. What we can do is we can start to actually manipulate the mouth in a way that matches sound. So if you want our character to talk, so what I did is I used the sound effector here, and I added in just this basic track that you can hear if I play my timeline.
Hi, this is a tutorial. Thanks for watching.
So it might lag a little bit if you've got kind of a more complex model, but let's say I want to just start making some movements of the mouth to match that track. We're just going to go to our character tag and add what's called a pose morph. And we're going to use points mode. And so, right now our base pose is this mouth. And what we're working on now is the pose 0, which you're going to want to probably make a couple poses. I'm going to call this one just ah. So let's go ahead and click on animate. Now we're going to go back into Sculpt. And we're going to just kind of shape the mouth. And we have to be respective of, a wider area than just the lips, because otherwise you're going to start to see some kind of mistakes appear. I'm not going to spend a ton of time making this look perfect. Obviously you can see I've got this ripple here showing up. So I'm going to just trying to, maybe I'll smooth that out a little bit. Yeah, something like that. So that is this person's saying ah, so there's a lot of words in the English language that would this is a tutorial, so his mouth would do that for and so if we go back to startup and click on our pose morph tag, we can now see, and we can pick the degree to how far we want this mouth to open to say that, to make that kind of phonetic sound. And it's very easy to keep adding to this. So now we can add a pose, and let's call this O. And click on animate, go into startup, and now I know I want, you know, the, sorry, not startup, sculpt. And now I know I want the O to be, you know, a tighter mouth on the edges, but still have a big opening here. And we start to see, you know, once we kind of get the position, we can always go in and smooth things a little bit, but we'll start by just doing something like oh, like that, and then I'll probably just go in and start smoothing out some of the edges of my mouth here to make it not look so kind of broken. And then the same thing, I go back into startup, and I can now adjust the mouth to say oh. And then let's add one more pose, and let's call this our smile. And with the smile, you're going to want to, you know, kind of make the whole face interact. So we're probably going to want to pull the eyes up a little bit, soften the eyes, pull the cheeks up, kind of, you know, oops, maybe give them a little bit more of an inviting look to them, and just kind of grab everything, and same as before, we can smooth everything when we're done, but something like that. And then I'll just make sure my symmetry's on and start to kind of smooth that out a little bit so it looks natural. And just like before, we're back into our startup, and we can see we've got a smile on the face. So once you're done creating all of your poses, you can stay in this screen here, the animate tag, and there's shortcuts here to go into the next frame and the previous frame. So if I hit G or F, I can start with the word high. So let's just start with the word high, which is kind of like a I. So it's going to be like a combination of that. And I'd probably, to make it perfect, add another pose here called E. And let's just do this really quickly. E, slight opening. Kind of almost like a smile when you say that. When you make that mouth pose, you're almost smiling a little bit. So do something like that. And go back. So I think we're ready to make that word happen. So I'll stay in this screen. I'll set a keyframe for ah, and slide that forward, set a keyframe there. And where I set the keyframe now, I'll set a keyframe for E. And then I'll kind of transition these. And then we'll finish the pose back to where we want it to be. So let's take a look at this.
Hi, this.
I think our E is a little dramatic.
Hi, this is...
And it's a little slow. So maybe we'll move these keyframes forward a little bit.
Hi, this is a tutorial.
And there we go. We've got the word. A decent looking.
Hi, this...
And I mean, that looks pretty good. You know, it looks pretty realistic from some different angles.
Hi, this is...
And we're probably just going to need to take all these keyframes and just play with the position of them. Maybe I'll start there.
Hi, this is a tutorial.
So that looks pretty good.
Hi, this is a tutorial.
And so once you go through and do all this, the great thing about this is that now that let's say we're ready to do the next phase, which is going to be to rig this character. The keyframes for the mouth are going to stay with the character even when we export to Mixamo. So you're going to want to do your mouth rigging first, because obviously once you bring in a character with animations, he's going to be moving around and it's going to be really hard to do that then. So we're going to do this step first. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of take everything that we know is going with our character, and we're going to put it inside of our character here. And we'll make sure we kind of name this. So let's just kind of clean this up a little bit. I'm going to select these children and connect these objects. And I'm going to call this up my eyes, since I'm pretty much done positioning them. I'll call this my hair, just in case I want to make changes later to that. And then we'll just drag this out. We don't need this symmetry null anymore, and we'll just call this our body. And then we will, depending on if you want to make any last minute adjustments to the hair, maybe I'll just reduce the number of hairs a little bit, and I will make the hairs edible as well and put that underneath my character. And let's select these children. Let's also connect these objects and delete. So now my hair is one thing here, and then I'll just name the null as, tutorial character. So we're going to export this as an FBX. You're going to probably want to bake this character just to make it a lighter load on your whatever program you are using for FBX. So I can just click this character, go to File, I was right, under Objects, Bake Object, and I'll give it a place under tutorials where I'm going to bake it into one texture. I'm probably just going to use 512 because I don't need too much complex detail. There's not a lot. And I've got single texture turned on. So this will just be for like the whole character. I probably don't want that. I want like the individual items to have their own characters. And I'll just hit bake. And this will kind of remap the groups and go through, and it might take a little while for the hair. But that was pretty quick. You saw that. So now we have a baked character that if I render, looks pretty good. I would probably say at this point in your character, you're going to want to have gone into your body and really kind of cleaned up where how your shirt's texture is working, or how your shorts are fitting the character, which is pretty easy just to kind of smooth that out. Looks like I kind of made a mess of this earlier, but we're trying to work quickly here because I don't want these tutorials to be too long, even though they're getting to be quite long. So something like that looks better, and we do the same thing here with the hands. Just make sure that this texture is filled into these areas here. Same thing over here. Man, the legs look good. So we'll do the same thing. We'll go object, bake it. And that's our character. So I would probably recommend saving this character before you baked it. So just kind of save it as an object preset, tutorial character, and that'll go in your content browser under presets under user. I've got tutorial character now in there, and that way we can just blow this away for now. So I'm going to export this character as an FBX, call it tutorial character. Put that in the same folder that I just exported my baked texture. And now I have my character in here. You'll notice, unfortunately, because I have that capsule in there, I'm going to want to get rid of that. This little item here. Export it as using 2014 7.4 version. And there we go. We've got our character. We're ready to add a skeleton here to this character. Just basically drag these out into their correct position, roughly. And this is going to put skin weight, and full rig to your character pretty quickly. So this is going to take up to 2 minutes. Usually does take around that. So we'll wait and see how long this is going to take. Probably speed this up a little bit. And now we've got our character rigged and ready to go. It appears to work well. Obviously the hair is not perfect, so there's a lot of things that aren't perfect about our character. The neck's a little wonky. Things you'll kind of want to identify and fix on another iteration, but now we can bring this tutorial character into this window, and we can look for things like, let's just say we want him talking now to kind of match the moves that we had before. So now we can just download that. If you wanted it for Unity, you could pick your version here. I'm just going to keep it as an FBX. Download it. And we'll jump back in and we'll do a file merge. Let's see, where did that go? There we go. Bring it in. And now we can hide our character, and now you see his mouth still has that data from before. So I deleted the sound just to show you. I think we could have exported it with the sound effector. I don't know if it would have worked or not, but we can just always add this sound back in and add our mouth track, and it should fit.
Hi, this is a tutorial. Thanks for watching.
And now we can start actually making 3D animated videos. So if you'd gone through and edited the mouth all the way, you could have then picked some animations to match. And then, like we've shown you before in other tutorials, and watched the motion clip and creating your own motion clip tutorials, you can start to add multiple different overlays of different talking actions. So we could add that. We could then download this, and then we could merge them together and create like a long kind of explainer video using a real character and using your voice. So that's been a quick tutorial, kind of taking our character rig one step further. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more tutorials like this.